It's a common saying that greedy people are usually the rich. A lot of people like to talk about, oh, that guy's so greedy. Why does he need $100 million more? Oh, why does he need $10 million? Why does he need $50 million a year? I'll be happy with $1 million, right? Oh, if I had that, I would I wouldn't buy a boat. I would put it towards this and that. If I had that money, I would do this and that. If. You look at people like they're greedy because they have something you don't have. Greediness is not reserved for the rich. All people can be greedy. You talk about, if I had that money, I would do this and that, or I'd help all these people. What are you doing with what you have now? This is a concept the Bible talks about. There was a woman that had a penny. Basically like a penny in our day. Like she had barely any money. She gave all she had. She gave all she had. And then there was these people, obviously there's people throughout all of history that have more money than others. And they had more money. They gave a larger portion than she did. Way larger portion. So just for understanding's sake, let's say Bob gave a penny and Sharon gave $10,000. Who seems like they're more giving? Sharon, because she gave $10,000. But when it comes down to the fact that, let's say Sharon has $100 million and Bob only has a penny, who's more giving now? The person who gives up more. Greediness is not based off of how much you have or how much you want to have. It's based off of how much you're willing to hold on to what you have. Bob, in the story of the Bible, the woman was more giving than all the other people. So don't think that the greediness is reserved for the rich. Don't think that it's reserved for only them. You can be just as greedy, if not more greedy than them, even though they have millions of dollars in the bank account. Because what are you putting your money towards? What are you using your finances for? How are you spending the resources that God has allowed you to have and manage? And honestly, a good question might be to yourself, why don't I have more? Maybe it's because God can't trust you with more money. Because you've not become the person that he could put money in the hands of. Or you would fall to sin or other things. God will shape you before he gives you what you need as a believer. He's not trying to make you stumble. God does not tempt. He's not going to give you $1 million when you're not ready for that and then make you fall. His goal is to love you and take care of you. He's a father. He's a provider. Become the person that's able to take care of and manage the money well, using it for the right reasons before you try to make the money or before you complain about why you don't have money. Something that I think is also very, very interesting is a lot of people will say, I just want to make enough money so I'm comfortable. I just want to make enough money to get by. A lot of people will use the verse that Paul had talked about where, giving neither poverty nor riches so that I won't forsake you, but I also won't, sin for need of hunger, right? That's great. But let's look at this. What's the context of that verse? What does that actually mean? And what does that mean for you? Okay, let's think about it. Paul was traveling from the churches. Paul was on mission, right? He was a preacher. He was an apostle, Apostle Paul. He was an apostle. He was evangelizing to all these people, making disciples of all nations. He was traveling. He needed enough money so that he didn't want to ask other churches or other people to have to fund him. He didn't want to have to cause them to have to give their money up. Even though he rightfully should get that. He rightfully should get money from the other churches. He didn't want to have that be a situation where he needed it. So he made tents and sold them. He was a tent maker. But people look at that and say, you know what? I don't want excess amounts of money because I just want enough to get by in a simple home. And there's nothing wrong with wanting simple things. But don't do that thinking that you're going to be selfless, because that is not selfless. What if you made $1 million a year, only spent $50,000 a year, and spent the other $950,000 a year to help others. Oh, isn't that a great thought? What if you made excess, abundant amount of money working extremely hard and putting all that money towards others? Now what? Now you're being selfless. You're not selfless by being broke as a joke and ready to choke. You're not selfish by being broke as a joke and ready to choke. That's not selfish. What would be more selfish is to make more money, work extra hard, put in the extra work, to put the extra time in to learn more skills, to be more of a high-set learner, have a high-skill tool set, and then put that towards a good use. When you have a homeless guy on the street, you can pray for him all you want. He's still hungry. Oh, Lord, I pray that somebody will help him. Let that somebody be you. But you can't do that if you're broke as a joke and ready to choke. I'm not condemning people who don't have money. I'm not condemning anybody at all. I'm just simply asking you to realize that you're talking all about, oh man, this guy's too obsessed about money. How is anything going to get funded in this world without money? We use money every single day. The Bible talks about money 2,500 times in the Bible. It talks about some type of finances or investment or money. The idea of it. And you think it's not important? You use it every single day. You wouldn't be able to drive around to church if you didn't have gas money. You wouldn't be able to eat and be alive if you didn't have gas money. Most people pray for health and finances. Both of those require money. So, I'm not trying to preach at anybody. I'm not trying to condemn anybody. I'm not trying to judge anybody. All I ask you to do is think about it and realize that having a lack of finances isn't more beneficial for everybody else. You might not be able to handle a lot of money right now, and if that's the case, then praise the Lord for you understanding your weakness and understanding where you need to be. But there's always a work around. You can set up some type of system where basically 80% of your money goes into a secure account that you cannot remove a single dollar from. You can set that up with your employer. If you're self-employed, you can set that up yourself. You can have accountability people. I believe that it's more an excuse from others for wanting to be lazy. Oh, I don't want to work. I don't want to be rich, so I'm not going to work hard. I'm not going to work that hard. Bruv, you sit down and watch TV all day long, playing video games all day, and you're talking about, oh, I don't want to be rich because that's not right. Poverty is not piety. Don't get that confused. You're not more righteous because you're broke as a joke and ready to choke.